On today's episode of Watch Chair Go, I am here with the only car you can still buy for less than $20,000 in 2024, and you might even like it. What is going on, guys? I am Watch Chair Go, and today, like I said, I am here with the 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage G4, making me the envy of all other automotive YouTubers. I know there's one car that we all want to make a video on, and I've never seen any videos on this car. So I finally went out and got my hands on one, and I am super excited to show it to you today because, like I said, it's the only car you can go buy that's brand new for less than $20,000. Now, there's a lot of EVs that are starting to play in that area, right? You might be able to get yourself in a Leaf or a Model 3 or even a Bolt if you can stack up all the rebates, and if you live in maybe Colorado where there are excessive rebates. Those are incredibly nice cars you might find yourself in under $20,000. But if you're anywhere else in the US where they don't have amazing EV rebates or anything like that, you really could find yourself behind the wheel of one of these for less than 20 grand. We're gonna walk around this thing. I'm gonna let you guys judge for yourself. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the Mirage G4 as we check this thing out. And from what I'm seeing, it's got a pretty solid value proposition going on. I also can't wait to jump in here and talk about all the oddities and functionalities. This is the 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage ES four-door sedan. There's a couple different body styles, or there were, but I know the four-door sedan's out right now, and there's a bunch of different trim levels. Like there's a black edition, a rally art, and some of these look really, really good as well. This one is very much a base, and the MSRP reflects that. Let's get the MSRP out of the way real quick, because it's better than 20. You would be out the door for 20. This right now is $18,175, and Family Mitsubishi here in Wichita is offering $100 off, which puts you at $18,075, which means, like I said, out the door under 20 with a brand new car. So this brand new car comes with brand new tires. That's cost right there. I know most of us are driving big trucks and big SUVs now where the tires are $500 a pop. So for the cost of a set of tires on whatever you're driving, you could have 10% of this thing paid off. Anyway, on to these tires here. These are something you haven't seen in quite a while. 14-inch tires. So 165, 65, 14s. These things are crazy. I can hold the whole tire in my hand just like that. They are Falcon Sinceras, and a lot of this thing is built in Thailand, so it's not really something we see very often in the US. That's another reason this thing is super, super interesting. And I would assume in Thailand you see a lot more 14-inch wheels and tires because that's rare in the US. We've got some big color matched mirrors right here. We've got some side markers that look like they're actually incandescent, not LED. I know the headlights are not LED. They are completely standard. At least there's a big crowd out there that loves being able to buy bulbs at O'Reilly's. And with this car, you can do that. You have a halogen headlight bulb, and you have like a 194 for the marker down there in the bottom, maybe another one over here, and then like a 1157 or something for the turn signal there. They're all standard bulbs. You can go replace them for a couple of dollars at your local auto parts store, which is not something you can do with any other new car. Minus a couple ultra base models and work trucks, everybody else has moved on from incandescent and halogen lights, so it's kind of rare to see again. And I know there's a crowd of people, not me, in my opinion. I can't stand ever having to replace bulbs, and factory LEDs never do need replaced, but you can replace these bulbs. So there's something to be said about that. It's worth a quick mention. You can see where the fog lights would go. I mean, you don't see this anymore really either, but plastic fog light blanks, that is very rare. And maybe on like the rally art, you would get fog lights, and I'd guess that they add a little bit of chrome trim in there too. This is actually a pretty good looking front end. I don't have anything negative to say about it. I like the black with the chrome accents there, the big Mitsubishi diamond in the center that brings us all back to our youth where all of us wanted Evolutions, right? Everybody wanted an Evo something, whether it was a 3 or an 8 or a 10 if you're younger. I mean, Mitsubishi made so many cool cars, 3000 GTs, things like that, that this badge still means a lot to a lot of us. And I don't think this car has taken anything away from that. I know there's always rumors of them bringing back an Evo or some kind of Mitsubishi sports car, but Like I said, I don't think this car or the Outlander, you know, everybody's moving on to small SUVs. I don't think those cars are truly taking anything away from the heritage. I think Mitsubishi's just building cars people want. It looks like there's a little pop out right there for a tow hook, and I guess we'd have to have something to get in there. Oh, there's where you open it right there. So let's take a quick look underneath. Yep. Tow hook confirmed. It goes all the way back into the bumper. And usually there's a lot of stuff for me to point out, puddle lights, cameras. This car has none of that stuff. It is truly just a car, and it's not that loaded with features. And I'm only saying it's not that loaded with features because it still has very impressive stuff for the price point. I mean, I'm pretty impressed. It has collision avoidance, and you can set the distance on it, and it has cruise control, which is something, and it honestly has power everything. If you take a look in the windshield right there, you can see the camera is hanging out right above the mirror. So it looks like one camera might even be able to do lane departure, even though I don't think they're doing it. It has a pretty sweet sensor package hanging out in the windshield there. The wipers are pretty standard. You don't have to do anything crazy, like put them in a service position or open or close the hood. You can just lift them right up and change them. We've got one that looks like a 21 and maybe a 13 or a 14 over there. Honestly, it's a really compact car. You don't see a lot of tiny wiper blades anymore either. It's kind of funny seeing things like small wiper blades and being like, well, when's the last time you saw one of those? Coming around the back here, we have LED tail lights. So shout out to Mitsubishi for that. Love LED tail lights on any car. So the LEDs are right through there, and this is a good looking tail light, big fan of it. The turn signal and the backup lamps are old school incandescents again. So throwing it back to something you can work on cheaply. And it's got a really good looking diffuser. I don't even know why, like why does this go so hard? The back end of this car is not bad at all. Reflectors down there on the side of the bumper. It does have a backup camera. Of course it does. It's federally required now. And how do you open that thing? I think you have to put the key in. Oh yeah, those are just tag lights up in there, and they're 194s. Another thing we haven't seen in a while, so that's cool. The Mirage G4 badge, which if you grew up in my time period, you immediately think of Tech TV whenever you see this G4. I don't know why they did this, but the logo looks just like G4 TV's old logo. Anytime I see it, it's kind of a nice throwback right there. And a good looking spoiler as well. So color match spoiler that doesn't look out of place and gives the car a little bit of extension. The gas door, you do have to open from inside, and it is a cable release. Old school stuff here. I know everyone's probably been in like an old Geo Metro. This is a grown-up old Geo Metro. There is not a lot of difference between the two. I mean, having power windows and power locks, very cool, great. We'll get into the interior here in a second, but a lot of this stuff they're things that we saw last in like 1995. 3-cylinder, 1.2 liter engine, right? Yeah, 1.2 liter, 3-cylinder engine. Again, Geo Metro days. Let's open up the gas door and the trunk. They look just like the old Japanese pulls, like Nissan. Everybody kind of had these, but trunk, gas door. There's the gas door, not capless. It's got an old school cap. I mean, it does exactly what you would expect. And here in the trunk, there is a ton of cargo room. It might be tight, but there might be 2 golf bags inside this trunk. I don't know. I don't have a golf bag to test it with, but it's a lot of cargo capacity. It has a ski pass-through right there, and these floor mats actually look very nice too. I like the Mirage logo on it. I like the reinforced area for your foot when it's on the gas. Honestly, those are nice floor mats. They're probably worth the, I think, extra $175 they charge for those. How do you get out? Okay. In an emergency, it does have a mechanical release right there. And that's it. That's the trunk of the Mirage. Wow, it shuts nice. That does shut nicely. All right, over here to the driver's door, where we always start. But you know what? I do want to mention the key real quick. The key is a remote. So nice key, fits in your pocket well. Obviously not keyless because, you know, it's under 20 out the door. I mean, they are selling this cheaper than that price right there on the Monrooney sticker. Lock, unlock. Ooh, even has a little light. Panic. Beep, beep. I knew it was gonna do the old beep beep that we all love from Nissans and Hondas. All right, so that's the key. Here is the driver door panel. One thing that's interesting when you get into this price point, something you haven't seen in years, I'm sure, they don't bother to cover the screw heads. That's very much an old like Geo thing. So plastic door handle, honestly, it's got a reasonable feel to it. Lock, unlock. It'd be nice if there was a red sticker on there to tell you which one you were in. I'm actually not sure if it's locked or unlocked right now. Oh, there you go. Unlocked is that way, locked is that way. Cool. And here we have window locks for the rear, the power lock controls, and one auto window, and it seems like it's auto up and down, so that's actually very nice. And then all the other windows are standard switches and another uncovered screw head. That said, one of the benefits about these door panels with all their uncovered screws is, oh my gosh, you've never taken a door panel apart better and faster than these old exposed screw head ones. They don't fight you, they come right off. It is really a benefit. Whenever I had to work on my Geo, I loved it. Sure, it doesn't look good, but it might make servicing the easiest thing you've ever dealt with in your life. And the plastics change, right? So you've got this like leather textured plastic right here, and then you have this kind of diamond textured plastic down here onto a smooth plastic for the armrest. One thing about the door armrest seat situation, my arm is back here, so I can't really use the armrest the way you should be able to. Water bottle holder that seems like it's a reasonable size, and also like a map or umbrella pocket right there. So plenty of storage in the door. The seats are not power as you might expect. They're lever slide, and I wonder how you get the jack out. So maybe you like lift the seat all the way up, I'm not sure, but the jack to change the tire is right there underneath the seat. With the seat all the way forward, I actually think I can reach it from the back seat there. That seems like yeah, nice and easy. You can pop that jack right out of there. Cool. Well, that's actually a reasonable place to put that. You know, everybody used to put them there. You can really tell that center console is an option. It didn't look like an add-on up front, but it very much looks like an add-on here in the rear. And I think it probably bolts into a cup holder. That's probably a single cup holder, and then the center console takes that cup holder and uses it for storage. So while we're back here, let's talk about the back seat. It's a little simpler. These door panels are even more bland. Speaker, window switch, exposed screws, and you cannot do the old door handle to unlock the car trick up here. We do have cloth seats all the way around, headrests in the back. How do we get to that pass-through? All right, there's not a lock or anything. That is a rubber pad almost. Little piece of plastic with a tab to pull it open. Two cup holders in the center armrest. Honestly, that's fine. It's a little bouncy. Your cups might bounce around a little bit, but I mean, it is a back seat that has a ton of leg room. I mean, if the driver is short, I can stretch all the way out. And if they drive about where I do, still a ton of leg room. I'm actually sitting pretty slouchy right there, so take a look at that. Plenty of clearance for my knees. I could definitely sit back here on a trip and be comfortable. It wouldn't bother me one bit. Let's get some more light in here and take a quick look at the other features in the back seat. They're pretty simple. One of them is this close hook right here on the back of the passenger headrest. And then farther down on the passenger seat, we have a little pocket for some storage. And that is basically the entire back seat. It does have latch for car seats, triple latch here in the back. So if you got kids, even with modern car seats, you'd be totally good to go. I will say those back seats, all these cloth seats are pretty comfy. They're not uncomfortable. They've got a lot of give and a lot of cushion, and the leather's not there to make them, you know, the leather kind of takes some of the cushion away because it's a thick, heavy material. These seats are very cushy, and they probably don't leave your back sweating or anything like that, so you don't need heated, cooled seats. I mean, there's a reason people like them. Let's take a look at the Monroney one more time. I want to talk about a few features and a few incredible things that make this one of the greatest value propositions I've ever seen. All right, 1.2 liter Myvec dual overhead cam, 3-cylinder electric power steering. It works great. Front McPherson strut, obviously you would expect that. The torsion beam suspension, which is pretty standard on cheaper cars. Like we just had Jake's Chevy Spark in here and it had a torsion beam rear end. Front wheel drive, halogen headlights, LED tails, intermittent wipers, rear window defrost, 14-inch steel wheels, 6-way adjustable driver seat, 4-way passenger seat. This is very impressive. This does have auto climate control. So we'll jump in here and talk about all that in a second, but we'll skip the tech for now and I'll cover it when we're in the car. It is a Jatco CVT and you can tell it's a CVT. There's no doubt about that. 50 state emission standard is pretty interesting. So this thing's ready to rock in California. Some of the crazier features at this price point are the forward collision mitigation, pedestrian detection, hill start assist, obviously ABS, but brake force distribution, that's cool. Active stability control, obviously TPMS. Most of these things are federally required now. Backup camera, ABS, TPMS, you have to have those things to sell passenger cars. It even has side curtain airbags. Yeah, side curtain airbag, driver knee airbag, the seat side airbag. I mean, this has a full set of safety features. And they also say it has the Rise body construction. Dual stage airbags in the front too. I mean, it's not bad. You can also see that welcome package for $175 that includes the floor mats, touch-up pin, and the center console armrest is $200. But this is the coolest thing. First of all, 37 miles per gallon. Very, very nice combined. 41 on the highway. And this is not a hybrid. That is 41 real on the highway. So 1.2 liter, I mean, it might be slow. It might only make 79 horsepower and 74 foot-pounds of torque. It's so slow, I'd almost venture to say it's dangerous. You guys know I've said that many times before. My AMC Pacer, so slow, it's dangerous. This is in that ballpark, but 41 miles per gallon out on the highway, 37 combined, incredibly impressive. 10-year, 100,000 mile limited powertrain warranty. So you could just buy this and beat on it for 10 years and you'd be fine. No questions asked. 7-year anti-corrosion, 5-year, 60,000 mile new vehicle limited warranty. I think that's everything. 5-year unlimited roadside assistance, incredible. You could cancel your AAA membership on this car, 5-year unlimited miles included. And even better, 2 years, 30,000 miles of maintenance, 3 oil changes, 3 tire rotations, and 1 cabin filter. How crazy is this warranty, guys? I mean, it might be a cheap car, but if you want something to just be transportation or maybe stick a kid in, I don't know, this car checks a lot of boxes. You wouldn't have to worry about what they were doing. You wouldn't have to worry about fixing it. It's a lot of value for $18,175 or even $18,00075. All right, let's open the hood and get in here. I know you guys want to see this 1.2 liter. That's not something we see very often on this channel. These small engines are rare, and wow, is that cute. That must be the cutest engine I've seen in years. It's got a Mikuni drive-by-wire throttle body. How sweet is this? Look how easy it is to work on, guys. AC compressor is belt drive, nothing crazy at all. A old school belt drive, single clutch compressor. Alternator, super easy to work on. This engine probably comes out in 2 minutes. Look how easy it is to get to the ABS module. When's the last time you saw something like that on a Mini where it's crammed up behind the engine halfway inside the firewall? This is wild. No hood struts, obviously only a hood prop. A cute, cheap battery. Wow, it might even be a flooded battery, not like a normal lead acid. You might be able to pull those caps, who knows? We've got a jump terminal where you just flip up the cover right there. Negative's easy to get to, brake fluid's easy to get to, brake booster's easy to, everything's easy to get to. Fuses right here, it looks like. The relays, probably headlights, the big boy stuff's right there, and then the rest of the fuse box. Everything's easy to get to on this car. Wow. Radiator right there, overflow right there, transmission fluid. You can open the transmission fluid. When's the last time you saw a CVT where they would let you check the fluid? That's rare. Let's see what it's like behind the wheel of 79 horsepower. Honestly, they gave it 10 too many. Over here by the driver's door, we do have power mirrors. Left, center, right, you know, or off in the middle. And they don't work when the ignition's off. Honestly, kind of interesting. Half the time they do, half the time they don't. Who knows what the rhyme or reason is for the mirrors working with the car off. Traction off, the collision, the forward collision mitigation right there. Are these fuses or is this just storage? Let's find out. And it looks like relays and connectors hiding out under there. This is a tilt wheel only, not tilt telescope, and there's no springs or anything. If you let go of it, it just drops down. So let's go ahead and lock that back in. Here's our lights and turn signal stock. It does not have auto headlights. So I'm a little surprised because auto headlights is so cheap to implement, but it has old school headlights. You can turn them on with the ignition off. So there's the cabin lights, parking lights, and also the headlights right there. And it looks like we have, I'm not quite sure what the deal is. It has front and rear fog lights. so we should probably turn this on and check this out, but it looks like 1 for forward fog lights and then 2 for rear fog light. So kind of interesting the way they did that. High beam is a pretty standard, oh yeah, you can pull whenever you want. Okay, when the ignition's on, you can just pull and the high beams stay latched, and then you hit it again and they unlatch, and if the ignition's off, then you only have the pull for a quick flash. Let's turn this thing on one more time. You can see there's no LCD, no startup animation, nothing like that. It just says park, and you get the fuel gauge. We got a half tank here. You do get a startup animation on the head unit. It says Mitsubishi, and then of course confirm that you're going to pay attention to the road, and you can clear the warning there. Just a speedometer and a tach, no coolant temp. It doesn't look like you get anything else. 90 degrees outside, service is off, 42 miles on the car, and 2 trip meters. So that's everything on the main dash display there. There's a few dummy lights, and that's it for the gauge cluster. So easy, quick, and simple. Some people like that. I don't. I'd rather this tell me everything about the car, but I mean, this is a simple and cheap car. Here on the steering wheel, it is all rubber, and it's really just fine. There's nothing bad to say about this rubberized steering wheel here. It doesn't have to be wrapped in leather, and also the rubber is easy to clean, so that's always a benefit there. We have steering wheel controls, so station, track, forward, back, volume, up, down. You can see it pop up over there. You can hit mode and change your input. And of course you have a hold for like Siri button or voice commands, answer call, in call, and then of course over here in the driving section, cruise, and that's it. Cruise on, off. You can see the light turn on and off when I turn on and off cruise. Set, resume, and cancel. That is it. That was the entire steering wheel. We are flying through this overview here. In the middle, we've got these 2 upper vents that actually look really good. Very G4 Tech TV feeling. I love the center of this thing. The piano black, I think, looks very, very good. I've talked about it many times. I like it. And then, let's skip this for a second. We have auto climate control. Single zone, auto climate control. I am very impressed. You know I love auto climate control in every situation, and this one's no different. You get front window defrost for the vent change, rear window defrost, and a button for auto. What else do you need? You can even shut the AC off easily. You don't have to dig through menus or anything like that. You can have the air without the AC easily, and maybe even leave it in auto. I doubt it. Let's try it. Auto, AC off. Nope, it kicks auto. But still, it's great to have auto climate control, even if it's a basic single color, single zone LCD right there. All right, back to the head unit. This is way better than you'd ever expect out of a car in this price point. And honestly, I think Mitsubishi knows it's the only thing you have to do. How everyone interfaces with the car is the most important thing about every car. And they gave you everything you wanted. It's got Apple CarPlay, it's got Android Auto, it's very, very fast and good looking at the same time. FM, AM, Bluetooth audio, phone setup right there, no phone connected currently. And I don't think it has wireless CarPlay though. That's the one thing it doesn't have. You do probably have to plug your phone into that USB-A port down there. So there's that one USB port. There's also a 12-volt accessory right there, and it's the only one in the car. But let's go back to the head unit for just a minute. You can turn the beep on and off. Very nice. You can turn Bluetooth on and off. Let's look at sounds. Ah, okay. Balance, fade, mid, treble, call volume. Very nice. That's actually a really nice way to access that. A lot of people don't do that, and you have to go into a call and then adjust the volume to do that. So I'm really happy about that. Display, cool. You can set the screen dimming right there if you want to take it out of auto. Of course, if it's in auto, when the headlights are on, it dims. And you can change the language. Key light. Ooh, are there multiple colors? I bet there are. It's a little slow on that one. I think we've seen about everything we need to see in the menu. It's got a couple hard buttons there for calls. Again, I think that takes you to phone. Look at that, it sure does. Back button, the day-night button as well. Put it back in auto. Push to mute, and hold for power off. Look at that. How simple. This thing works really, really well. It turns back on instantly, and HD radio. That's still a high-end feature, let's be honest. There are cars still not shipping with HD radio. I've got one more note about this head unit that sums up all of my thoughts. First, I love that they gave it a volume knob. It's got a great interface. It's quick. I'm almost 100% sure this is one of those $100 Chinese Android head units that they made run really well. They just optimized it, stripped it down, and made maybe the best version of it. But in the settings, you can always adjust those. So like their internal preamp isn't outputting as much volume to the amplifier, and you can do a lot of magic inside their little DSPs. I think what they did was neuter this thing, so when it's turned all the way up, there's still almost zero distortion, and there's also no bass, right? There's no subwoofer. It only has what appears to be 6.5-inch coaxial speakers all the way around the car. So it does play relatively low, but not truly low. So don't come in here expecting some, you know, $4,000 audio system option. It sounds fine, and I am happy they neutered it so it doesn't distort at full volume, but it also does not get loud at all, and there's no bass. So, I mean, what do you expect? They threw in like a good looking head unit that's probably more than this car deserved. It's a lot for $18,000. It even pulls in the station icons if they have RDS and HD radio. So again, a lot of credit there. Underneath it, we've got some storage right there, a pretty big storage pocket. It might hold your phone. I don't know if it's quite long enough, but it could hold a phone. Two very small cup holders, old school style. Your cups can rattle around in them, but it is two cup holders. The controls for the CVT transmission, not a bad shifter. It's got the little gates on it, and then there's a little switch right there to switch between drive and drive sport. When it's in drive, we can put it in gear right now. Normally it says eco. Start it. All right, so we'll put it back in park real quick. If you guys can see that, put it down in drive. And it doesn't want to say eco this time, but I think the only way you can take it out of eco is flipping it over to sport. And on the dash right there, it does say DS for drive sport and just drive when you're in drive. And there's also a low range. Take a look at that. You can see the L, and it's all the way back. So I don't mind that shifter one bit. And we should also mention that reverse camera. It looks good. This looks like all the Chinese backup cameras I always install from a Toto. So credit where credit's due right there. Let's turn this thing back off. We have the parking brake underneath that, and I'm very interested to see this optional $200 center console that does give you, flip it all the way over, one more cup holder. You really don't see these flip over consoles anymore because your rear passengers will scoot over and snap the thing off. But hey, it's storage, and the armrest is in the perfect spot. I was using it the second I got in. I love it. All right, what do we have here? Mitsubishi Motors, a really nice holder for the owner's manual right there. The manual and all the other books are in there as well, and that's a reasonably sized glove box. There's no upper glove box, anything like that. Airbag over there, rear view mirror, non-dimming, no screen, nothing crazy, but it is one of the wildest mounts I've ever seen. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the way this mounts is, it's got some really weird deal going on there. It's just not a traditional rear view mirror mount. You can flip to dim, so that's nice. Go ahead and get that set up properly. And then you have a light right here for airbag off. Your cabin lights, oh, one. There's only one cabin light. It's just this one. There's no middle one, there's no side ones, no ambient lighting, one incandescent light, and then the microphone for the Bluetooth is right there. So very cool. These are all plastic. You've got a little ticket holder right there, parking tickets, turnpike tickets, all that good stuff. These very, very simple flip open mirrors. These don't extend or anything. They flip up and down and that's it. And they're easily replaced. These are always the best ones to replace. The ones that just have 2 or 3 screws on them. Some grab handles, only in the front. Only the front has grab handles and adjustable height seat belts. That's actually a nice feature right there. I think that's it. I know I forgot to mention the wiper stock. It does have interval wipers and that's it. Very, very simple wipers. The stocks both feel very good. And apparently you do get one dead switch here. If you don't have any of the fog lights, that switch doesn't do anything because I turned them both on and usually there's an indicator for the rear fog being on. Nothing ever turned on. So we can safely assume this does not have rear fog lights because if that light's on, you're required to know it on the dash because people drive around with them on. It's super, super annoying. All right, look at this. You can put a key in. Haven't had a car with one of those and I can't even remember the last time. Those LED taillights actually look pretty good too. Really the only other thing I could mention is that driver's seat is the 6-way. So you add in this one adjustment right there so you can have a little bit of knee bolster. That's it. I think we covered every single option in this car. Let's get this thing out on the road and take it for a drive. pretty funny when it starts up. I actually think you have to hold the key. It's not like most of the modern ignition systems where you touch the key and then it takes over. I think you actually have to hold it till it starts, which is pretty rare. And we'll throw this thing in reverse, get our backup camera right there. I do want to mention this, on the backup camera, they didn't do aspect correction. You can see that it's like round right there. All the modern cars do fix the aspect for you, so you don't have that fisheye effect there. Before we get into this, a couple notes about driving it. Like I said, 79 horsepower, 74 foot-pounds of torque. This is the first car I've gotten in years where I've gotten in and immediately switched it into sport because it was too slow. I needed the throttle remap to be nearly wide open just so we could accelerate at a reasonable pace here. And I want to show you guys something else you probably haven't seen in years. Now, this is not a handling test. Whenever I see people do this, I think it's so stupid, but the body roll in this car is so aggressive that you could lose it with like 3 swerves. If I pushed it even a hair harder, you could lose the front end. Like, you can feel the wheels start to like turn and tuck to where you could spin it or flip it. Honestly, these are things that you haven't seen in a car on the handling performance side in years and years and years. And now I want to do a 60, and I don't know if we have enough room. They didn't finish the ends of the stocks. They're just unfinished nibs from the injection molding. Wide open, let's go. Here I floored it when you heard the click. 20. Oh, come on, baby. 30. 40. We're doing it. She's ripping. 50. Come on. 60. I lied. 60 now. 65. 70. All right, let's try the braking. Does this have drum brakes? I probably should have put it in sport for that test, but I don't think it has to be in sport for, you know, a normal wide open pull on a CVT. I don't think it would have made any difference because the throttle was at 100%. So the CVT is going to stay right in the engine's power band, obviously. That's just how slow it is. That's just how slow it is. Once it gets rolling though, and the CVT finds its equilibrium, when it's not trying to accelerate the car anymore, it's a very comfy, nice ride. But what you can feel when it's not in its equilibrium there and it's still trying to accelerate, it's like a little grindy, a little bit of I don't know exactly what to call it, but you can feel that it's struggling until it gets up to speed. I bet auto headlights are optional. Take a look at that. It's got auto high beam and auto headlight logos there in the dummy lights. So we're gonna pop out on the highway for just a minute, and I am taking this thing back to Family Mitsubishi here in Wichita. If you wanna pick one up, they actually have a ton in stock. It looks like most of the dealers do have these in stock. I didn't think there were that many out there. I figured even the dealerships moved on to small SUVs, but if you're looking for a car like this, it turns out you can go buy one today, and it's a heck of a deal. So let's see what it's like on the highway, and then back to the dealership it goes. I just realized I haven't been in a car in years where turning on and off the AC made a meaningful difference, but you figure the AC is taking 10 to 15 horsepower in this car, which is a lot of its power. So let's get on the highway here. I'm gonna shut it off and we get to relive the old high school turbo button days, because I mean, that's what it is. All right, here we go. We're at a 20 roll. Here we go, 20 roll, wide open throttle, AC off. Kind of sped up a little bit. Not enough to matter, we still can't merge. I'm glad that person got over, I would have been in trouble. All new cars are good cars. You're going to save so much money not having to work on someone's old beater all the time. And I have no doubt this thing easily runs past 100,000 miles, because Mitsubishi is here to back that up with a warranty that will get you to 100,000 miles. So it might just run forever. Change the oil and take care of it, keep driving it. It does highway speeds just fine. There's a lot of wind noise coming in. I mean, a lot of wind noise, way more than we've heard in any other car in years. But like I said, it's going highway speeds. There's a big headwind today. It's doing its job. It does everything. A lot of body roll comes with that too. A lot of body roll. Again, more than you felt in anything else in years. Scary amounts of body roll. If you chuck this into a corner hard, things might not go well for you. But with that said, I really want to get this on a track. Spend a day just ripping it in this. It could be awesome. Shelby Raptor, and the best looking C8 I've seen in years. What is going on with that? He's got like stick-on roof scoops. It It looks good though. I like the matte black. Well, there you have it. The only car left for sale in America under $20,000, brand new with an incredible warranty, and you can only buy it for a few more months. Mitsubishi has said they're canceling the Mirage after this model year, if I remember right. It might be 25, but I'm pretty sure it's 24. If you want one of these things, you better get on it now because you will not be buying one next year from what I've seen. They moved on. Small SUVs are it. It's what's selling. I bet these aren't selling very well, but it's really the only affordable option out there for at least the people in my comments. They say this is the car they want to a T. Like, it has all the things they can work on. It's all cheap to work on. It will just drive and be a car and nothing else for years. I mean, it checked every single box. It's not what I want to drive. You guys know the line. What you think I rap for? To push a RAV4? No, I'm here for fun stuff like this, but this is certainly a car, and it's certainly under $20,000, and it's certainly the last one of its kind. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjargo.com for cool shirts, not like this. Click one of these videos right here. YouTube thinks you'd like to watch that next. Maybe the one about the cheapest truck left for sale in America. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time. One final note. Incredible color. Go Mitsubishi. No one else makes colors anymore, right? Everything's black, everything's muted brown or gray or white. There are no colors left for sale. And Mitsubishi's like, here you go. It's everything you guys asked for. And here we are not buying it. Every color you can buy today has so much black in it, so you can fit in with everybody else and drive a black car. Isn't that crazy? This is beautiful. I gotta give it a lot of credit for the color.